Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to another stream. I hope you are all well. Game week 35 is here. We have just 4 game weeks left of this FPL season. How crazy is that? It's absolutely flown by this second half of the season. Some of you may be willing it to end. Some of you may be sad that it is finally drawing to a close. Either way, we have 4 game weeks left to play, and we will be talking this morning about game week 35, which feels like the only sort of normal stepping stone between now and the end of the season. Of course, we have double game week in game week 36. We have double game weeks in game week 37, and then game week 38 is the final week of the season. So plenty to talk about in today's stream. We'll do that. We will answer all of your questions as well as we go through. We'll discuss how we got on in the previous game week. Just before we do that, the usual start to all of my streams. Say hello in the chat. Let me know how you got on last game week as well. Like the stream, we'll do the usual round of hellos, and then we'll get into a quick fire round of questions to start off our deadline streams. But yeah, say hello. We'll do the usual rounds. We'll get to the questions in just a moment. Please make sure you've liked the stream before we get started, just to get it shared out there at the beginning, and then we will get in. I've come usually prepared with my double liquids. I've got a cup of tea as always, and I have got my bottle of water as always. So yeah, that cup of tea is also still absolutely boiling, and my bottle seems to have a leak in it. So all in all, we're off to a cracking start this morning. So let's say hello to a few of you. Ahmed, Senkorot, Mr. Was Up, Chris, DR1, Shiraz, Floppin, Praz, Ethan, Shubra Khan, CDN, Daniel, Mark, Luke, Chad, Christian, Michael, Gian, Tech, Testing, A7X, Shiraz, Kieran, Nigel, Prithav, welcome. Mr. Tater Tots, welcome to the members in today. Brian, Ryan, Stephen, Ethan, good morning to you all. FH, Daniel, sorry, some of it went down. Some of my water went down the wrong way. Thank you guys. We're close to 50 likes. A great start to the stream. If you haven't already, drop a like. But let's do a few of your questions to start off the stream. Schmeichel or Foster? So if I get my team for next week up, I'm starting Foster this week. I don't love either of them, but I am captaining Son, so it doesn't really make sense for me to start Schmeichel. 80 points with a captain Mount even. So can't complain. Very good, Niels. Well done. Would I do Kane, Bruno and Shah to Watkins, Salah and Cancelo for a -8? No, I probably wouldn't do that this week. I may look at it next week, but I don't think I would do that for a -8 this week. No, Mike, I would not do that for a -8 this week. Matip or Cash? I'd probably go with Cash just because I think he's going to start every game. Konate could start one of the Prem games. And the attacking threat that you are getting from in there, I would probably go with Cash. Salah or Kane? If this is for captaincy, I'd probably be on Harry Kane. Now it's pretty close between the two of them. I'm on Son over Salah. We will spend this morning's stream looking if we're getting any early team news as well. But at the moment, I'm on Son, so I would advise going with Harry Kane. Good morning, everyone. Sell Mount for Coutinho. If it's for free, there is a doubt in my mind whether Mount starts. I'd probably say he has over a 50% chance of starting. If it's for free, I would do it. If it's for a hit, I wouldn't. What's my reasoning for Son captain over Salah? So for me, if I had Kane, it would be on Kane, but I worry about the minutes that Salah could get today. Newcastle have been pretty good recently, particularly at home. Salah's played Champions League on Wednesday. They then have Champions League on Tuesday as well. So they have a really short turnaround between their 2 Champions League games. Plus they have an away trip to Newcastle in the middle. He played 90 minutes in the Champions League on Wednesday, and Mane and Diaz both got hooked early. So they played, I think, 75 minutes apiece. Which just, if Salah was going to start this weekend, I wonder why he didn't take Salah off. There's part of me which doubts Salah's minutes this weekend, effectively is what it is. Would I captain Son or Foden? Son for me. Son, they've got a full week's rest. They're playing a Leicester team who are going to rotate heavily as well. So yeah, I like what the Spurs assets can offer this week. I'd seen a lot of people selling them as well. I wouldn't be doing that. Even a Son to KDB, for example. Kulu for Saka or Coutinho. Kulu for Saka or Coutinho. If I had Kulu, who would I sell for? It depends. If you're free hitting in game week 37, then I would go Saka. If you're not, then I might go Coutinho just for that extra fixture. The only issue is the final day of the season. You want Saka and you don't really want Coutinho, so there's not that much in it. I would maybe fancy a punt on Coutinho just because we're not 100% certain on Saka's fitness. Who will get more minutes of Kai and Mason? I don't quite know the answer to that. Predicting the Chelsea lineup this week is very difficult, and one thing I think will be asked a lot on this deadline stream is what to do with Chelsea assets. Do I start them? Do I sell them? I'm starting all three of mine. I'm hopeful that we might get a start from one of them. I'm not particularly hopeful. For me, Mount has played a lot of 90 minutes, whereas Kai keeps getting 60 or 70s, which makes me think Kai's going to start. But the amount of minutes that Mount seems to be able to play is incredible. So I think I find it difficult to predict. I think Mount will start. Would I transfer out Mount? If it's for free, then I potentially would go for the likes of Coutinho if you don't have a free hit in game week 37. If you have that free hit spare, or you're taking a hit, I wouldn't. Coutinho, Saka would probably be the two that I'd be looking at. Foden, I think, would probably start, but I think there's enough doubt. What's my transfer targets this week? So, my team up on screen now. If you haven't watched my team selection video, effectively my plan is to go Havertz to Foden and Reece James to Laporte. Is currently what I'm thinking for next week or ahead of the double. Now, I don't necessarily think any of it is worth it this week. I think if James starts, he's a better option than Laporte is. And if Havertz starts, him versus Foden is pretty equal. So, Havertz to Foden I could do, but I think I'm just going to hold off a week. Roll a transfer in case something happens. Take 2 transfers going into game week 36 and see what we get. So, that's the plan. Afternoon, everyone. Thank you all for joining. We are 217 of you watching. Good morning, everyone. If you guys could like the stream as well, that would be fantastic. That would be great. Get it shared around. Would I go Mount to Coutinho if you have Ramsey? Again, I probably wouldn't do it this week. I'd probably hold off on it and do it potentially next week. Is Saka playing this week? I think he'll play, especially because they play on Sunday as well. It's just that extra little bit of rest. He has been pictured in training, so I have no reason to sort of expect that he's not fine. So I would be fine if you guys own Saka. I think he'll be fine to play. Son or KDB for Havertz? I think that really depends on what your goal is for this season. If you're in a happy place and you don't want to take many risks between now and the end of the season, I would go with Son. But if you're chasing, then De Bruyne is a perfect pick if you are chasing your mini leagues or chasing rank at the moment. Every game there's going to be doubt whether he starts, but Pep seems to think he's going to start most games and then just sort of come off after 60 if he's fit, if they're winning. What's your opinion on captaining Watkins over De Bruyne and Salah? I wouldn't captain Watkins over De Bruyne and Salah, to be honest. I don't have enough confidence in Watkins. Can I tell Pep to start Foden, please, Harry? I would if I could, but I'm waiting to get him next week, I think. Start Pookie or Dennis. So my team, I'm starting Dennis at the moment. It's just that Burnley at home fixture. I'm going for it a little bit. Maybe I shouldn't start double Watford, but I'm starting Foster in goal as well. They both play at 3 o'clock today, so yeah, I'm not really like that sure on that, but Norwich didn't look that great in the most recent game. To be honest, I think the decision will be made for me by Tuchel or by Klopp. But let's wait and see. But I do have Pookie first sub at the moment. -4 from Weghorst to Watkins. Is it worth it? From Weghorst to Watkins. Thing is, you'll probably want to do that next week anyway. Although Weghorst plays a Watford team who seem to concede goals for fun. I don't necessarily know if it's worth a -4 this week, but it's a transfer you're going to have to do. You'll want to do anyway. So I'd probably bring it forward a week and just do it for a -4 this week, because then you get another free transfer next week. So, who to start between Odegaard or White? You have Saka. I'd favour the attacker there. I'd probably go Odegaard. Arsenal have not looked strong defensively at all recently, so I'd probably go with Odegaard. Maddison to Saka for a -4. Yeah, I'm not sure Maddison's going to start. Alonso captain, I can't particularly get behind, but I think there's enough rotation risk for him there that I probably wouldn't do it. And I think there are good enough options in the likes of Spurs and in the likes of Salah as well. Son to any City attacker. Who will be the most nailed? I wouldn't do that this week. Son playing against a Leicester team who are going to rotate heavily between their two European ties, which is what they are really, really playing for. Spurs have got to bounce back at some point, and I just think it could be this weekend. Morning, Chris. Would I start Rafinha or Broja? Fixture. Rafinha is away at City, isn't he? Home to City. Broja's at Palace. I probably would just about back Broja, because I don't think Leeds have looked that great either. But I don't love either of those two as picks, if I'm completely honest. Play Ramsdale or Sanchez this game week. Again, Arsenal, West Ham, Sanchez away at Wolves. I'd probably go Sanchez. Wolves have been really poor in front of goal recently, so yeah, that's probably where I would go. Sorry, let me just get something up again in case there's any news to get on my phone. No Spurs players. Thanks for the advice. I've got Son in my team, but I think they're a good option this week, but I don't think they're necessary between now and the end of the season. Why Kane over Son for captain? It's just one of those things that I expect a sort of trend to come to an end. He's not scored in the past 4 or 5. When he plays against a team like Leicester, he plays further forward. He's also got a very good record against Leicester as well. So all of those things tie in that I'd probably go Kane over Son if I had both. You have 2 Chelsea defenders, Rudiger and Alonso. You're benching Rudiger as you think Everton may score one. Yeah, I think that's fine. Benching Rudiger, I'd bench Rudiger over Alonso. If Alonso doesn't play, you get Rudiger off your bench anyway. Starting Pookie over Rudiger, I don't hate that at all, given the way that Chelsea have been playing and the chances that there is good rotation for Chelsea going into this game. James Mount out, Coutinho cash in. Doing it ahead of Everton's a bit of a risk. I would definitely want to do both of those ahead of next week, but do I think both of them are worth those transfers this week? If it's for a -4, I wouldn't do it. I'd just do one. If it's for free, then fair enough. You might get burnt by it, but you are bringing in 2 players at home to Norwich. So start White or Ramsey. You've got Rambo in net and Davies as your 4. I'd go Ramsey. Start him at home to Norwich. He's looked good recently. He's been a good asset for us this season. He scores goals. Yeah, I'd go Ramsey. Start 2 of Kulu, Saka, Mount. Saka 100% starts. I'd probably start Mount. probably would go Mount there. Morning, Keith. Morning, Archie. Havertz to Saka for free, potentially. I do think Havertz starts, but I don't know that. If it's for free, I would do it. First bench, Maddison or Gordon? Maddison. I put Maddison. I'm not sure he's going to start, though. Start Pukki or Martinelli? Pukki or Martinelli? I'd go Pukki because I think Smith Rowe might start again. Keep or sell Sterling for Son? I'd keep Sterling. He didn't play Champions League, I don't think, so he should start against Leeds this week, who said they're going to come out and attack, so I probably would start Sterling this week. White or Rafinha? That's pretty close. Part of me wants to just favour the attacker there. I've not loved Arsenal defensively the past few weeks, so let's go with Rafinha in that one. Again, guys, just a reminder, 300 of you watching, good morning, all of you. I will get through all of your questions as fast as I can. If you guys could like the stream, if you are new, we are chasing 17,500 subscribers by the end of the season. We are chasing 17.3 today. So if you are already subscribed, just liking the stream will help get it shared to people who aren't. And if you aren't subscribed, please do hit that subscribe button. Start Foster or Ramsdale? I'd probably go Ramsdale in that instance. I would go Foster over Schmeichel, but I'd probably go Ramsdale over Foster. I just can't see like that much from either of my goalkeepers. I am just playing the fixture a little bit this week. Pukki or Cash? That's quite an interesting one, playing against each other. Cash has clean sheet and goal threat. I'd probably go Cash. Cash and Laporte again. I would go Matty Cash there. If you're not playing your defender when they've got, if you're not playing your defender when he's got Norwich at home, then like you kind of like why have we got him in the first place? David, captain Son or Salah, 12k rank, looking for top 10k. If you're in that position and it's a risk. Son's a bit of a captaincy risk this week because Salah will be more highly captained than you will get out of. Salah will be more highly captained than Son. I'm going to wait around and see if I get any early team news on Salah to see if it changes my decision. I'm on Son, so in theory I should recommend you to captain Son, but it is more of a risk than you would get if you captain Salah. Salah is better for probably just holding rank, although Kane will be highly captained as well. I'm on Son, so a long story short, I would probably go Son because I risk of Salah's minutes. Newcastle have been good, so that is my thinking. -4, Mount to Coutinho, you have no chips. I wouldn't do a -4. I'd potentially do it next week. But if you've got a transfer you know you're going to make next week anyway, and it would be a -4 whether you did it this week or next week, I would just do it this week for a -4. If it was going to be for free next week, then I'd do it for free. Sell Barnes, Saka or Havertz for Phil Foden. Foden, I'd sell Barnes for 100%. You guys with Leicester assets in your team, I can't see them being good holds between now and the end of the season. You look at, if we go and get up, what do I want? I really want Ben Crellin's spreadsheet. Let me get that a sec. If you look at their fixtures, you think, great, they look really nice. They've got an extra fixture to most teams. They double. Yeah, like, let's go and get some Leicester guys, or let's keep them. Let's keep them in my team because they are, have got those double fixtures. My worry, my big issue with that is that I just can't see. Let me add that there. Cool. Is that I just don't think they'll play all four. I don't think you'll get more than maybe. Sorry, let me get back up what I need. I don't think you'll get more than 3 starts over the next 5 games for your Leicester assets. So I would really sell them. I would really be looking to sell these guys. That's probably quite small on all your screens. That's probably better. Yeah. Cool. Maddison to Coutinho. Yeah, absolutely. I would do it. We just hit 100 likes as well on the stream. Thank you all. Pookie or Dennis bench boost next game week? It's really close. Dennis has a better double than Pookie does, as you can see here. But Pookie is a better forward to own. I'd probably go Pookie, just because he is playing two teams on paper, which is more difficult, but are both still will both still have a lot of matches to play and a lot of European commitments. So I think there'll be rotation for both of them. So I would go Pookie. Bench Maddison or Reece James. So given that I think they might both be on the bench, I would start Reece James. I can't see Maddison starting ahead of that European match next midweek. I really can't. So I would be benching. I'd be benching Maddison. Is a free hit 38 completely crazy? It's not completely crazy. I think given the way this season has gone, if we get to game week 38 to play our free hit, we have wasted it a little bit because there were enough opportunities earlier in the season that maybe we should have used them in. Now, game week 37 is not a great use of it now, and maybe I should have used it in game week 30, for example, where I taught my team the few weeks before. I don't think it's awful as an option. And it allows you to plan for game week 37, bring in some Villa players, bring in some Palace, Everton players, for example, and then free hit them out in game week 38. If you get to 38 and you haven't used it, then fine. If you're not sure, I would have a look at 36 and 37. Harith has asked, what's my plan going into this game week? So my team last week, I scored 90 points. Absolute flyer of a game week once again, up to... Oh, it hasn't even changed my background. Up to 5k in rank. Let me go and put the one that should be in there. Up to 6k in rank. Absolute flyer of a game week last week. Was very happy with 90 points again. Looking at next week, my team looks like this. I haven't made a transfer yet. Will I make one? I don't think I will unless we get confirmed team news or confirmed like Chelsea team news, and that's tomorrow. So we're not going to get that. So I don't think I'm going to make a transfer. I'm going to roll my transfer. I've got a decent enough bench if things don't go well. So that's fine. Do I think Tony is a good option? I think he's a good option, but the issue is they don't double ever. They have Southampton, they have Everton, they have Leeds. They have a good run of fixtures. But like they just don't double, so they're really just not investable to me. Like this is the time in the season where you've got to take your gambles. You've got to go for the doublers. It's the final 4 game weeks of the season. There's no point going like really, really safe now on a player you think's a good pick because you've got to find the way that's going to make you up the ground you need in the next 3 weeks. You've got to go and sort of take that bit of a gamble punt between now and the end of the season. And I don't think Tony just really fits into the category of a final 3 week punt, in my opinion. Dennis or Nketiah? I'd probably start Dennis. You did a -8 to get rid of Fraser, Tierney and Broja. Fine. For Gordon, Cash and Nketiah, any good? Yeah, I don't mind it. You did it for bench boost. That's absolutely fine. Should I do Thiago Silva to Cash this week or next? I'd probably do it this week. If it's for free this week, if it's for a -4, I'd hold off. Darshan, Werner to Watkins for a hit. To fund Laporte. Would both transfers be for a hit this week? Because I don't love a -8. If the one's for free and one's for a -4, then fine. I'd go Watkins over Nketiah. I predicted that Werner's not going to start this week, so I don't mind that at all. I do not mind that at all. Start Ramsdale or Sanchez. Out of the two, Ramsdale or Sanchez, I'd probably go Sanchez just because Wolves have been so poor in front of goal recently. Yeah, Neto might start, but I still don't love it. Richarlison has 9 yellow cards. He does get suspended if he gets another one. I didn't realise he had 9. Hopefully he gets one soon against Chelsea, for example. bench Saka or Kulu. I'd bench Kulu. There's a chance that Kulu comes in at right wing back for Tottenham this weekend. So I would start Saka 100% anyway, even if Kulu was going to play on the wing. And given that extra bit of doubt for me on Kulu, I would go Saka. So yeah, I would definitely. If you've got Saka, you have to start him, right? He's playing a West Ham team who have got Europe either side of that fixture. Oh, Richarlison needs 6 more yellows. It's been reset. Fine. I was going to say I'm surprised the community haven't picked up on that based on everyone seems to want to own him ahead of 37. Is Saka a good captain choice? Now that is a better question. I don't dislike Saka as a captaincy shout going into this week. He's got a good fixture. They're playing a West Ham team who are likely to rotate quite heavily, and he's now on penalties as well. So yeah, I can definitely get behind a Saka captain. Whether I would do it over the likes of Son, Salah, Kane, probably not. But if you're looking for a differential, I don't think it's awful. He's on very good form at the moment. I think he'll start against West Ham. I just don't think I'd do it over the top of the other ones. K17, thank you. Thank you for the kind words. Thanks for the great content. Appreciate it. Again, guys, please make sure you've liked the stream. Make sure you're subscribed as well. We're only about 30 subscribers away from our target this season. This weekend. For those chasing mini leagues, get Jota or Mane or Trent, have Robbo and Salah. If you're chasing, I'd probably go Mane. I think he's the most likely to start. He'll probably score the most points. Now, it's a lot of budget you're investing there, but I just don't want to back Jota because I think Diaz will get a fair amount of minutes between now and the end of the season as well. So I would probably go Mane. If not Mane, I'd probably go Trent because Trent still has a haul in between now and the end of the season. I wouldn't worry too much about what he's done thus far. What about Sterling captain over Salah? Again, I think Sterling will start against Leeds. So if you want to take that punt, it is quite a big punt given the ownership of the two of them. It is a very big punt, but if you want to go there and you're chasing, then I don't think it's dreadful. I think he should start this weekend. Darshan, best City mid except KDB or Foden. I think it's very difficult to predict. I'd go cheap. I'd go Bernardo Silva or I'd go Mahrez. I wouldn't be looking at Sterling as a long punt. If you've got him, then I think he's fine for this week. But long term, I'd probably go Bernardo Silva or Mahrez. I don't love either of them. Mahrez is a big rotation threat and Bernardo Silva doesn't score enough goals. He goes through big patches like we saw at the beginning of the season, but I would really go with Foden over the lot of them. Maddison and White out for Coutinho and a 4.4 defender. There aren't many 4.4 defenders. You'd have to try and find the 0.1 to go up to Emerson Royale, who I still think is a good option. If you need a 4.4, I don't know if there are that many. Let's look at the predicted points. Haven't done this yet on the stream. 4.4 for this rest of the season. Tavares, but he's not going to start every game. Collins of Burnley, probably the only one who's potential, but there's a chance that Ben Mee comes back in. Charlie Taylor, you could punt on him, but there isn't very much at that cheap price, to be honest, that we expect to get good, consistent minutes. Irwin, is Alonso a better option than Laporte/Matip? The issue is Alonso playing like one game. Alonso's not going to start every game between now and the end of the season. Like, we're pretty certain of that. So let's say he starts 3 games between now and the end of the season and Laporte starts 5. Is Alonso in those 3 games a better option than Laporte in 5? I'd probably go Laporte in 5 versus Alonso in 3. Is Holgate 4.2? Okay, maybe you try on Holgate. His predicted minutes is low, which is why he wasn't showing up. but maybe you go with him. I agree. They're doubling 37 as well is nice. So I'd probably go Laporte. Thoughts on Maddison to Foden? I would probably do it this week. For a hit is a bit more sketchy, but I'd probably just about do it because I just can't see Maddison starting this week. Let me know in the chat, guys, who you are captaining. I'm on Son. Salah seems to be top of all the captaincy polls, but I can't find a single person on Twitter who's actually doing it. Kane as well. Just let me know in the chat who you guys have got your captaincy armband on for this week. Again, just want to have a bit of a look around at whoever wants. Salah, Son. Would I sell Barnes, James and Weghorst for Foden, Laporte and Nketiah? That's probably a big hit this week, given that Weghorst has a good fixture. But those 3 transfers are good moves to make, so I probably would. It's quite a big risk, but Barnes I can't see starting as well. Kane, Saka, Salah, Kane, Salah, Kane, Saka. A KDB in there for Rohit. De Bruyne in there for Samuel. Okay. A bit of a mix. A lot of Spurs guys. A couple of punts on Man City mids. And then a few Salahs dotted around as well. I'll be interested to see what the ownership stats look like this week. Nuclear's on one this morning. Smith Rowe or Broja? Out of the 2, I would start Smith Rowe. I think we'll start. Sorry, yeah, just do a poll. Yeah, let me just do a poll. Captaincy: Kane, Salah, Son, other. Cool. See what you guys have got to say. Between Salah and Robbo's an interesting one. There's fear that Tsimikas might start. This week. Best Reguilon replacement. I mean, I like Emerson Royale. He's probably the one that I would go with personally. I probably would go with Emerson Royale. Cheap defender options. Sessegnon. Again, Reguilon team's out, so Sessegnon's not a bad punt. I would probably go Tavares I don't like. If you want to go cheap, I'd probably go Holgate, but I'd probably try and find money for Emerson Royale over them. Start Mateta or Broja? I'd probably go Mateta. Yeah, I'd go Mateta. How like my Chelsea predicted lineup. I know a few of you have been asking in the chat. So my prediction was as follows. Mendy in goal. Chalobah, Azpilicueta, Thiago Silva, Rudiger, Sarr. Then a midfield 2 of Kante and Jorginho again. And then a front 3 of Mount, Lukaku, Pulisic. But I'm guessing here, right? I'm not sure at all. Who should I bench? Alonso, Havertz or Cash? That's really tough. I wouldn't want to bench any of those. If I had to pick one, I'd probably go Havertz because there's a doubt whether he starts. But they could all haul this week if they start. Stephen, I can't believe those are your best benching dilemmas this week. This is my team, yeah. Get your final votes in on the poll and then we will wrap it up. Foster or Sarr in goal? I'd probably go Sarr. I don't expect that to be a massively high scoring game, so I'd probably go Sarr. Good morning. How are we doing? Bench Matip or Kulu? Matip away at Newcastle. I'd probably bench Matip. Newcastle have been very good at home so far this season, so I'd probably bench Matip. Laporte or Watkins for a -4. Watkins is a better... Like, Laporte for a -4 is like never going to make up the points that you're trying to get to. So I'd go Watkins. Again, guys, just a reminder, 400 of you watching. Thank you all. If you guys could like the stream, that would be fantastic. Gets it shared round. It's the easiest way for free to support. If you guys do want to support the channel, the top link in the description will help you join as a channel member. The top link in the description if you do fancy joining. There are 2 tiers to that. How tall am I? I look tall in the Fest photos. I'm about 6'1". I don't know if that's that tall. I think it's quite average height. Will Luis Diaz start? I think he might, because he got hooked quite early against Villarreal in the Champions League. So I think he will, but again, I don't know. No idea why everyone is ignoring Ronaldo. Huge differential this week. Brentford are no pushovers, is my only thinking going in there. I don't think he's a bad option, but if you're bringing in Ronaldo now, it feels like a very luxury transfer to go and bring in him, given that they play a single game week in 36 and then blank in 37. They're the only team left this season with only 3... the only team left this season with only 3 games left to play. So although he might be a good option this week, no one's really going to him because you've got teams that play... Like Watkins plays 6 matches, whereas Ronaldo only plays 3. Again, yeah, there's a chance Ronaldo outscores Watkins, right? But you've got to play the numbers game. That Watkins' base is sort of 12 points. And that's already a return that Ronaldo needs on top of his 6 if he plays all 3. So I'd be going away from Ronaldo just because of the amount of games that other teams have left to play. Havertz or Mount to Foden? Havertz or Mount to Foden? Havertz or Mount to Foden? Mount's got a better chance of starting games regularly than Havertz does, so I'd probably sell Mount. Start Schmeichel or Foster. Again, if I get my team up, that decision has been made for me. I don't love it particularly. I don't love the 2 goalkeepers that I've got, but it is what it is, and it is Foster that I'm starting in my team. Coutinho or Foden? I'd probably, if it's to buy this week, I'd probably go Foden. For captaincy, I'd maybe go Coutinho. Shall I keep Havertz and Mount? I don't think keeping both is a bad idea. One of them will probably start this weekend for Chelsea. You'd probably want to move one of them off going into game week 36. And the thing for me is, going into game week 36 is having double Chelsea mids is very sketchy, given that I can't see virtually any of them starting the second game against Leeds. James, Havertz, Werner, any of these playing both in 36? No. I don't think so. Because I think that's our strongest front 3 at the moment. Which means I think they will start the FA Cup final. Unless he changes it for the FA Cup final. But I don't see that happening. So I think Ziyech, Pulisic, Lukaku start Leeds. I think there's a good chance that is the lineup against Leeds. So I'm good, thank you for asking, Curtis. Reason for Son captain over Salah/Saka. Saka, yes, he's on pens, but if he hasn't scored the pens in the past 2 games, the attacking returns are not quite as fruitful as maybe they were before. Instead of Salah, my worry is Salah's minutes this weekend, basically. Whereas I know what I'm going to get with Son. I know he's playing a Leicester team that I really expect to rotate pretty heavily going into this weekend's matches. So, yeah, I'm fairly confident on that. I don't think I'll change it unless I get confirmation that Salah does start. Tavares to start. I mean, I wouldn't go buying Tavares now that Tomiyasu is back because Cedric could play on the other side. Start Laporte or Emerson Royale. I'd go Emerson Royale. He's looked like fine. He seems to get a lot of bonus points as well. Transfer plans. I am planning on doing nothing this week and rolling my free transfer. That is the plan. Plan to do absolutely nothing and just roll it this week. Cool. Would I start Sarr or Ramsdale? I'd start Sarr out of the two, just because he's got a good fixture this week, and Ramsdale and Arsenal have not been good defensively. I do expect some rotation from West Ham this week, but not enough to put me off. Game week 36 goalkeepers. Schmeichel, and if you can't go Schmeichel, there's not that much. Then you go maybe Pickford, because he has a good fixtures in 37 as well. If you need cheap for your bench boost, Foster, Crystal Palace and Everton is okay. We have just turned on subscriber only mode. Again, all you need to do is subscribe and then the chat will be back fully working straight away for you guys. So if you guys could like the stream as well, we're close to 200 likes on the stream. And if you are not subscribed, if you could just hit that subscribe button and the chat will be back for you as well. Thank you, Mike, for subscribing. Thank you, Bian Connor. Thank you, Nick. Thank you, FH. Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Muhammad, Sam, James, Mustafa, Eldro, Tiago, Sarah Woot. Thank you guys all for subscribing during this morning's stream. Sell Madison for Coutinho. Madison out, Coutinho in. Yeah, I probably would do that, cause especially if it's for free, definitely. If it's for free, definitely. If it's for a hit, I still probably would do it. What about Tim Krul? Tim Krul's not bad. It's not bad. West Ham at home, Leicester away. Again, Norwich been pretty shaky defensively recently. So that's my only issue. But if you had the money, I'd go Tim Krul over going for Foster. But this happens every week. My alarm is going off. We're back. Sell Mount for Saka for a -4. From -4. I think probably because you'll want to do it next week anyway. So yeah, I would. FPL Ghost. Shall I just stick with Dubravka on the bench boost? My other goalkeeper is Foster. Dubravka is not good for bench boost. Away at Man City, like he could easily score a 0 that week. So I find it hard. I would move him on. Like I would go Dubravka to Tim Krul if I had to for the bench boost. Because you don't really want Dubravka for Arsenal at home. Burnley away is not that great. But then your other two goalkeepers are Norwich and Watford, which isn't great either. So depends what it looks like for the rest of the season. I really wouldn't want to go with Dubravka on a bench boost. Sell Barnes, James and Weghorst for Foden, Laporte and Nketiah. Barnes, James and Weghorst for Foden, Laporte and Nketiah. Yeah, I think we've had a very similar question to that earlier. I don't like selling James and Weghorst for Laporte and Nketiah this week, but Barnes to Foden is worth it. But if they other two is the money cow that you need to do it, then I wouldn't. Mateta or Pukki? What time is that? 9:45. Weird time for me to have an alarm. But anyway, is Foden worth getting in? Yeah, he is. If you're taking big hits to go and get these guys in, then I'm not sure it necessarily is. But I like him this week. Didn't play last weekend, which means I think he should play this weekend. Doesn't often miss Premier League minutes. So I like him this week. If you're taking big hits to get him in, then wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do a -4 for Havertz or Mount to Foden. Now, I might end up being wrong, but I wouldn't do it for a -4 personally. Is Jesus worth getting in? Again, there's so much rotation in that Man City forward line, especially on those flanks, that no, I wouldn't do it. Laporte and Coutinho for a hit. Laporte and Coutinho for a hit. Coutinho for a hit is fine. Laporte for a hit. Like, defensive players for a hit are just... If you think about it, if Laporte scores 6 points, the hit makes him blank, effectively. Like, Laporte for a -4 is just not really worth it for a single week. It may pay off between now and the end of the season, but I just don't see it being worth it this week. We are 8 likes away from 200 as well, guys. So if you could, that would be great. This is the thing, and I think a lot of people look and they think, oh, I need to make this defensive transfer because I'm not sure if he'll start, and then bring in a centre-back. Like, Laporte, realistically, his ceiling of points is 6. Maybe 7 or 8 with bonus, but with the amount of goals that City score, it's realistically 6. You can't bank on a Laporte header very often. So if that's the case, then that 6 becomes 2 very quickly with a -4. So defensive transfers for hits, I just never get behind during the season. It's something I rarely do, unless I'm bringing in a big attacking fullback like Robertson, like James, like Trent, like Alonso, like Cancelo, for example, where we know there's a decent chance that they go and outscore that sort of 6-point barrier that they need to make the transfer even worthwhile in the first place. So I wouldn't be doing hits for Laporte effectively is what next week it's my planned transfer. So if we get FPL.team up, my team here looks like this. Get rid of the advert at the bottom. Next week, where's the next game week button? Oh, I'm on the final game week of the season. There we go. So I think I need to refresh that anyway. So if we look at my squad for next week, like, I got a full squad of double game weekers. My bench boost will be active. Yeah, SDR, thank you. Austin, LOL, James, Mike, thank you guys for subscribing. My plan is Havertz to Foden, and then James to Laporte, both for free. If James to Laporte was going to have to be a -4, I don't think I would do it. I don't think I would do James to Laporte for a -4 if it had to be a hit. I don't think I would do it. So I suppose that boils down on me to could I use that transfer better elsewhere? I'm not particularly sure I could if we put James back in there. So yeah, that's my plan for bench boost next week. 15 double game weekers. I've been waiting a long time to play it. Do I think I should wildcard this week? I would wildcard this week. I don't see a better chance to wildcard than this week. If you're saving it past this week, I think you're probably going to have wasted it. Like, the only other transfer that I look at this, like Foster to someone, but Foster to like Tim Krul, Foster to Pickford, like, I'm not doing those. No one else has a good enough double. Do I want to sell João Pedro? It's possible that, but then there's no one else that I'd only have like 6 mil to spend. So predicted points for the next in game week 36. Like Nketiah's top, João Pedro's a bit below, but it's not going to be worth a -4, I don't think. So basically, I think those are the 2 transfers that I'm going to make next week. I think we'll see. We'll see, but that's the plan. That is the plan. Man with a plan. Should I start Nketiah, White, or Ramsey versus Norwich? I'd go Ramsey. Nketiah's looked really good recently. I definitely wouldn't start White. It'd be Nketiah or Ramsey for me. Again, very close. I think there's enough doubt in my mind about Nketiah's minutes that I'd probably just start Ramsey against Norwich, but it's him or Nketiah. It's pretty close. Martinelli or Ramsey? I'd start Ramsey. I'm not sure Martinelli's going to play this week. I think we'll see Smith Rowe and Nketiah start again. He seems to like Smith Rowe and Nketiah together, whereas he plays Martinelli with Lacazette, because Martinelli gets in behind better, whilst Lacazette comes deep and holds up the ball. So I think we'll see Nketiah and Smith Rowe again. What's the maximum hit for a bench boost? I wouldn't want to take more than a -8 on a bench boost. If it's to strengthen your bench, because then I feel like the points that you need on a bench boost, we often say is 16. And if you are bench boosting, if you're taking hits, then you need to add that on to the top of it. So if you're taking a -8, you need your bench to suddenly score 24. If you're taking a -12, they need to score like 28. How's my maths? 28. So I wouldn't want to take more than a -8 in order to strengthen my bench for a bench boost. Would I transfer Bruno to Salah for a -4 this week? 6k rank. Thinking of damage limitations. Again, what are we going to know about Salah's lineup for? If Salah doesn't start, then that transfer, like, if you don't have Salah this week and he doesn't start, and you have Fernandes against Brentford, like, you have the chance to do really well this week. I'm not sure I would do that for a -4. My only thinking is, if you were going to do it next week anyway, then I probably would. But if you're going to do it minus for next week anyway, and you just want to stay in the top 10k, then it's a big risk to go without Salah again. His ownership will be crazy high this week. So start one of Dennis, Pukki, Mateta. Dennis, Pukki, or Mateta. If I had to start one of those, Dennis, Pukki, or Mateta. Dennis for me. Dennis is the one that I'm starting. So you've been on holes this week. Came back last night and bought Zinchenko. Are you crazy? Thing is, I've looked at Zinchenko and I'm just not confident enough that he's going to start week in, week out. I think he's fine for the short term, but come the end of the season, I'd be worried again. I don't think he's a dreadful option, especially given his price at 5.3. He just takes up another City spot. And if he does start getting rotated, then that will be annoying. But I don't think he's a bad option. I'm just not sure he'll start both in the double. Any chance Tsimikas will play? Yeah, there's a chance that he plays. I don't know what the Liverpool predicted lineup is. And apologies if you see me looking down. I am looking on my phone to see if there are any sort of leaked lineups or anything that we get between now and the deadline. We haven't had anything yet. But yeah, we haven't had anything yet, but I will keep you guys posted on it. Why Son captain over Salah? So again, just to talk through my captaincy thinking, I'm not sure Salah's going to start. I think there's a bit of a doubt in my mind, given he played 90 in the Champions League midweek. I then know Newcastle away is a difficult fixture. Son having Leicester at home, a Leicester team who are going to rotate so heavily. And then they're just going to have to bounce back at some point. Son playing as sort of a second forward as well. So you already have Ronaldo. Son, would I transfer out Ronaldo for Kane? Ronaldo to Kane? No, probably not. Well, if it's for free, yeah. Actually, for free, yes, I would, because Kane has a double in 36. So yeah, I probably would. Kane will have massive EO this week as well. Start Martinelli or Ben White. I'm not sure Martinelli's going to start, but I don't think Arsenal keep a clean sheet. So my instinct was to go Martinelli because I'm not sure there'll be a clean sheet for Arsenal here. So that's probably where I'm going to stay. There's enough doubt about Smith Rowe versus Martinelli. I'd probably go Martinelli because I do think West Ham will score in this game. Pukki or Mateta? Probably Mateta. Villa have been better defensively recently. They've not been great going forward, but they have been pretty good from a defensive point of view. So I would probably go with Mateta. Bench one of Kulu, Mount, Havertz or Zaha. I'd probably go Kulu just because I'm not sure what role he's going to play for Spurs over the next few games. And it could start this week as well. So the thing is with Spurs, they are missing fullbacks. They now only have Sessegnon and Emerson Royale as their only fit fullbacks. Yeah, they only have those two as their fit fullbacks. So there have been said in press conference that Kulusevski is capable of playing at wing back. So that is a bit of a concern for me, that maybe if they're looking, for a game that they want to attack a bit more, they stick Kulusevski at wing back, Lucas comes in and they play all four of them. So that would be my worry. FPL Thrill, welcome. Thank you for subscribing. We are just 11 subscribers away from our target for today of 17.3k. There must be 11 of you in here who are not subscribed. Triple captain Son, game week 36. It's a no from me. If I was playing my triple captain in game week 36, it would probably be on a Man City player or it would be on Salah. I think that's where I would look for a triple captain if I've still got one to play. Personally. Start James or Sessegnon. I'd probably go Sessegnon because, again, James could easily get a one. Well, actually, no, I can't back that. You can't bench James. If you've got him, you've got to start him. So, as much as I think Sessegnon will start and is a good pick against Leicester, I think I'd go James just because we know what he's capable of doing. Start Saka or Ward-Prowse. Again, if you guys have got Saka in your teams, you've got to be starting him. It's a really nice fixture against a West Ham team that we saw how much they rotated last week. So we expect them to rotate heavily again this week as well. You've got to be starting Saka, and he's on penalties as well. So you've got to be starting Saka if you've got him. Got to be starting Saka. Start Pukki or Ramsey. Pukki probably just is slightly more sort of confident for starts. Sub Havertz with Coutinho, free transfer. Yeah, for free, I probably would. Now, it could blow up in your face this week, but I think between now and the end of the season, you're going to get more points out of Coutinho than you are out of Havertz. If we have a look at predicted points between now and the end of the season, if we look at midfielders, for example, below that sort of, if we put it up to 8, where those Chelsea guys fit, Mount is up there. Again, I worry a little bit about his minutes, that he's going to be so high up. Foden's up there. Coutinho's up there. They're above Havertz, whose minutes have been slashed, or is he more than 8? Yeah, his minutes have been cut. Craig, thank you very much for subscribing. Play Emerson or Weghorst. You got to play Weghorst against. You got to play Weghorst. I think you got to play Weghorst here. How many double players do I need for bench boost in game week 36? I don't think it matters that much. I mean, most of your single game week players would end up on your bench, to be honest, to be fair. So, how many do I think you need? It depends who the single game weekers, right? Because if you're bench boosting with single game weekers of Newcastle assets, then that's not great. But if you are bench boosting with single game week assets in like Crystal Palace, a home to Watford, then I think it's fine. Like if you had Tony, then also I think that's fine. I probably wouldn't want to have less than 11. Like a bench of single game weekers is fine, but I wouldn't want to have less than 11 because I think the majority of people will have an average of, with bench boost as well, sort of 13 double game week players because of bench boost. So I wouldn't want to go less than 11. Play Ben Davies or Saiss. Probably Saiss again, just for the combination of attacking threat and the clean sheet potential. I'd probably go with Saiss. 4 subscribers away. There must be 4 of you. Maddison and Havertz out for Coutinho and Foden, or Maddison and White out for Coutinho and Taylor. So do I want to do Havertz to Foden or White to Taylor? Probably Havertz to Foden. Shane, thank you for subscribing. I don't think I've got my volume up, so I don't hear when there are new subscribers. Let me turn that up. Captain Salah, Coutinho or Foden? Just, we need to know the Salah news before I can answer any of these. If we're unsure of Salah starting, I'd still probably go Salah over Coutinho. If not, then I'd go Coutinho. Jacob, thanks for subbing. Saka, Sterling or Watkins? Probably Saka. Probably Saka. Starting Ketia, Pukki or João Pedro? I'd probably go Pukki. Him or João Pedro. Sorry, him or Nketiah. I definitely wouldn't play João Pedro because we don't know if he's going to start. Start Odegaard or Cash? I'd go Cash. You've got to be playing your Villa guys if you've got them at home to Norwich. Like, it's the best fixture on paper. If you are benching these guys in these fixtures, then I question why you've brought them in this week or why you own them if you're not going to start them in what is the best fixture that you can possibly get on paper. So yeah, I would be starting your Villa guys. Cat Mo, I worry again about his minutes. I'm going to see what I can get in terms of team news between now and the deadline. I don't know if we're going to get any. But I don't hate it. I do worry a little bit about his minutes. If he starts, when's he going to get taken off? But we've spoken about it a lot. The Aston Villa assets, let's have a quick chat about those. Because a lot of you will be thinking of bringing them in. They have a good fixture this week. They then have a double in 36, a double in 37 as well. I think they're really, really investable, whereas Leicester, for example, I don't see being investable. Everton, I think, are good from next week, but Aston Villa are the ones that people are looking at in this week in particular. I really like Martinez, probably not one that people are going with that much, but I think he's a good keeper between now and the end of the season. Defense, Matty Cash is the one and only that I'd be picking. His attacking threat makes him so much better than the rest. I think he had a price fall as well. Uh, 5.3. Okay, he's 18.5 predicted points. I still really like what he can offer between now and the end of the season, given the amount of matches that they play. So Cash would probably be up there with one of the assets that I'd really target. He might even be the number one Villa asset that I'd want. Coutinho is probably the one that competes in for it. Watkins, I think, is a nice option as well. I just worry that he's not going to start all 5 of these games and that he gets one of them off and Ings starts twice, for example. one with Watkins and one on his own up front. So Aston Villa are definitely assets that I can recommend getting behind. I like them a lot. It would be Cash, Coutinho, Ramsey if you want cheap. I do quite like Ramsey. Ramsey was one I almost had on wildcard, but I went with Gordon instead. I'm glad I did, but I do also like Ramsey as well. Concerned about Tuchel Tombola. So with the exact money and a -4, thinking about Werner and Havertz to Son and Nketiah. I don't dislike that because I can't see Werner and Havertz both starting. Son, I think, well, definitely starts. Nketiah, I think you probably got about a 75% chance of him starting as well. So Clyde, I probably would do that for a -4 because going into game week 36 as well, you'll be much happier with Son and Nketiah in your team over having Werner and Havertz in your team. Havertz to Foden or to Coutinho. So again, a lot of you looking at Manchester City picks or Aston Villa picks. Coutinho or Foden. With no free hit, for me it's Coutinho. With a free hit, I think it's Foden because you can free hit Coutinho in for 37. Whereas those fixtures in 37 is really what does it for me on Coutinho. So I would go Coutinho if you don't have a free hit for 37. But if you do, then I'd go Foden. It's a similar situation if you're looking at Laporte versus Matty Cash as well. If you have that free hit to free hit Cash in 37, then great. Then go with Laporte. But if you don't have that free hit between now and the end of the season, I would go, Laporte with a free hit, Cash without a free hit. Ashley Young or Cash. So there's a chance that Luca Dean is back in the next few weeks. So again, I don't think Ashley Young is going to play every game between now and the end of game week 37, which is probably when you'd want him for. So again, I would just hold off on Ashley Young. I'd definitely go with Matty Cash over Ashley Young. Do I use your chips this week? The only chip that I'd really use this week, and I put this in one of my videos I did a while ago, is your wild card. I don't think it's a good use of a free hit this week. I don't think it's obviously a good use of a bench boost this week or a triple captain. 36 and 37 offer themselves as great opportunities to use your chips if you're not going to go and if you haven't used them already. Wildcard this week to plan for those 2 weeks is absolutely fine, but I wouldn't use anything that's not your wildcard. Start 2 of Werner, Nketiah and Kulu. I'd probably bench Werner. I just can't see him starting this week. I'm pretty confident that it will be that we will get Pulisic starting out on that left-hand side is really, really what I think. So, yeah. I think we'll get Pulisic starting. Is what I think. Broyo is a troll. Again, I think Broyo's time in our teams has come and gone. I wouldn't be looking to hold him very much longer if you've got him. So, yeah, for me, Coutinho's got to go. Sorry, Coutinho's got to go. Brojo's got to go. Is the way that I'm thinking about it. Bench, Cash, Laporte, James or Kulu. Again, Kulu I'm not a big fan of. I'm losing faith in Kulu a lot. I'm glad I took him out of my wildcard. Any of you guys here who watched my deadline stream last week when I played my wildcard, thank you very much for telling me to go with Saka over Kulusevski. I mean, it could be the difference when it comes between now and the end of the season about where I'm ranked. So, yeah, I'm not a massive fan of Kulu now. Rather than getting Zaha for a hit in 37, I think it's better for me to get rid of Nketiah from Mateta. Again, I don't know who'd be selling in your midfield, but Nketiah to Mateta probably makes more sense, although we have seen a lot of rotation in that Palace front line recently. And Mateta's, I'm just not sure he's going to start both. My free hit in 37, I don't think I'll have Mateta in there. I think it'll be a good opportunity for free hitters to go away from what is a more highly owned pick in Mateta, because I'm just not sure he's going to start both. personally. That's my thinking. I think I'll go Zaha. I think I'll go one of the defenders or Gaeta in goal for my 2 Palace that game week. Working to move Havertz and Mount for bench boost, 36, considering Son and Gordon, or Foden and Maddison. Again, like Leicester, we've spoken quite a lot about on this stream. I don't think they're good picks between now and the end of the season. They've got the fixtures to go for it, but I don't think they've got the minutes. If they get knocked out of Europe midweek, maybe this changes, and maybe the rotation is massively cut down. And maybe if we see that next midweek before the 36 deadline, we think, okay, maybe Leicester guys are fine to go and buy, but right now, I can't get behind it. I can't get behind it. You doing any moves this week, Harry? Think my Chelsea boys start? I'm a bit worried about my Chelsea guys, to be honest. Sorry, there's someone at my door. Do I reckon you should do Mount to Saka? For free, Teddy, yeah, probably for free. For a hit, it's a bit of a push, but for free, I would do it. Start one of Saka, Kulu, and Weghorst or Dennis. Again, start one only, Saka. Like, I don't know why people are suddenly doubting Saka. Is it because he's still yellow flagged? I think he's a... Sorry. James or Alonso. I think Alonso's a better pick, more consistent for minutes between now and the end of the season. So yeah, I'd go Alonso. Alonso's just more likely to start them all. Is it better to take a hit to get rid of Matip and Kulu for Zaha and Royale and captain Zaha in Gameweek 37? Getting rid of Matip's not that essential, but I like those moves probably more than I like going for Mateta. I'm not a massive Mateta fan, if I'm completely honest. I just don't think he's going to start that many, like, consistently. It's always going to be a worry for managers after he got benched the other night. When they play 3 games in the final week of the season, do we really think Mateta's going to start them all? Is Mateta really going to be the one? Is he not going to give minutes anywhere else in that forward line? Is Edouard not going to start? Is Benteke not going to get a start? When to use a free hit if you have one left? I think game week 37 or game week 36. Again, it depends completely on what your team looks like for 36. If your team doesn't look good for 36, then use it then. If it does, then use it in game week 37. I'm using it in mine in game week 37, so... Start one of White, Broja and Nketiah. Probably Nketiah. I don't love the other two particularly. So, yeah, I'd go Nketiah. Laporte or James? I'd start James just because you've got to chase that sort of upside pick that you're going to get with Reece James, whereas Laporte, it's only a 6-pointer really that you're ever going to hope for from him. So roll the transfer or drop James for Laporte / Alonso. I would roll the transfer. There's an okay chance that James starts, even if it's a centre back. It's an okay start. It's an okay chance that he does start. My captain is Son at the moment. There's a chance that it changes if we get any news on Salah starting. But at the moment, it's on Son. Saka is fit. Yeah, they just haven't taken the flag off of him. Thank you, guys. We've hit our subscriber goal for the stream, as well as having almost 250 likes. So thank you all who are still watching. Pookie or Dennis for next week? Probably Pookie. Kane or Son out for KDB from -4. I wouldn't be selling your Spurs guys ahead of Leicester at home. It's a very nice fixture. It's captaincy worthy. All of those players. I wouldn't be selling them for De Bruyne for a hit this week. Buy Alonso Laporte versus playing Ramsey. I just play Ramsey. It's not worth using your transfer on, to be honest. So, yes. Should you wildcard? If you've still got your wildcard left, this is the best week to do it. You don't have very much time left to play it, but if you've still got your wildcard, this is the best time that you should be playing it, I think. Saka, Kulu, Vegas or Dennis. Yeah, start Saka. If you guys have got Saka, you've got to be starting him. In my opinion, you've got to be starting Saka. There's no part of me wants to have Saka on the bench. Like, he's my vice captain, and you guys are thinking of selling him or benching him. I don't get it at all. It's a really nice fixture for Saka. Chelsea assets again. I would just play them because some of them are going to have to start. Chelsea still needs 6 points to get top 4 confirmed with 5 games left. If they lose this, in theory, if they lost away at Everton, they'd need to win 2 of their last 4. 50% with the FA Cup in there, with Leicester in there as well, with going away to Leeds. I think Tuchel will want to win this game. I think he'll want to just sort of put it behind him. So I wouldn't worry too much. I wouldn't go taking hits to sell your Chelsea assets because I think some of them will have to start this week. So that's what we're going to have to wait and see on, to be honest. But I don't think it's worth it selling your Chelsea guys this week. I would just roll with the ones you've got. Rotation may well bite me quite hard this week. I am worried about the Liverpool lineup. I'm worried about the Chelsea lineup as well. But like, it is what it is. Start 1 of Odegaard. Morning, Joseph. Thank you. Welcome to all the members in the stream. If you do want to join as a member, the top link in the description will allow you to join as a member. There are 2 tiers. Tier 1, the basic tier, and Tier 2, the advanced tier, where you get added to the group chat with myself. It will be changing next season, I think. I think we're just going to go with 1 membership tier next season, but we'll see. Roll a transfer and play Havertz. Yeah. I wouldn't, if you've got Chelsea assets, for free is a bit of a grey area, if I'm honest. Like, selling him to Coutinho for free, I don't think is that bad if you're going to do it next week anyway. But it could go wrong like straight away for you this week if Havertz plays against Everton. He got the chances against United, which I think isn't getting enough attention. Like, he wasn't just not getting in the space and like was frustrating Tuchel. He was getting the chances, but he just didn't finish them, which, yeah, is not ideal for us owning him. But I think he's still a good asset for us to be owning. At my rank, would I buy De Bruyne instead of Son if I had the funds? At my rank, no, I wouldn't. Because that's a big risk, going De Bruyne over Son. And I think Son's going to hit... I think he's got goals in him between now and the end of the season. So I'm quite happy with Son. Wood or Shah out for a -4. If you're having to start Wood and Shah this week, yeah, I probably would sell them for a -4. But I don't know if you're starting them this week. They may just be on your bench. So yeah, in terms of planning for next week, again, let's go and have another look at this. I know what my transfers are. We're getting to the point in the season where I just don't know. Let's stretch that a little bit. I kind of know what transfers I'm going to make between now and the end of the season, which is a bit... I don't have very many decisions left to make, and we'll just see where the season takes me. But next week, Havertz Havertz to Foden next week is pretty locked in for me, given the Man City double, given that I want Foden on the final day of the season as well. So Havertz to Foden. And then Reece James to Laporte is what I'm currently thinking. Now, part of me is saying, is Reece James going to start home to Watford on the final day of the season? Is that better than having Laporte for his double and then Villa at home? That's the question that I'm asking myself, is over those sort of 36 and 38, who would I prefer? Who do I think a differential pick for this week is? Let's have a look. I mean, the Villa guys won't be that highly owned this week. De Bruyne still won't be that highly owned, but he's quite a lot. That's probably where I'd look. Man City and Villa. If you want to try and gamble on which of Diaz or Jota's going to start, then good luck with that. And you could go there as well. If I had to pick a differential out this week, it would be somewhere in that. Is taking a hit for Cancelo worth it? I don't know who you're selling. Thing is, you'll probably want him next week. So yes, I don't think it'll necessarily pay off for you all this week, that -4. But I think by next week, it probably will. Cool. Kane or Son? Kane. If I had a choice, I'd be on Kane. If I had a choice. Boris, Mount Havertz to Saka for free? For bench boost 36, no free hit. Yeah, then I would probably ditch Havertz. I think Mount is going to start more games than Havertz will. Personally. So, yeah, this will be my team for next game week. Thank you, Jake, for subscribing. This will be my team for next week. Free hit 37, then we go into 38 with a team that looks like this. Again, almost everyone playing at home apart from the Spurs guys away at Norwich. I'm currently planning on a free transfer of Pukki to Ivan Toney, who has Leeds at home. That is my plan for the final day of the season. Pukki out, Tottenham at home to Toney, who has Leeds at home. If I get an injury, then I'll do something else. But that's how I'm aiming to line up on the final day of the season. A 5-4-1. I don't expect very much rotation, especially given that everyone is at home. So they'll want to play in front of the fans for the last time in the season. So that is what I'm planning on. The only decisions I've really got left is who to own on free hit in game week 37. But do I like Mane as a differential over Salah? I don't hate it, actually. A lot of people will have Salah. Mane's been really good recently. It's a big, big gamble, though. It's a big gamble that I don't have it in me to take, and I wouldn't advise anyone to take. But if you really are chasing and have a lot of ground to make up, Mane has been really, really good. He got hooked early in the Champions League, which means I think he's likely to start this week. Then both in the double, they're difficult games. He'll want them all to start. Christian, welcome. Thank you for subscribing. So I like Mane. I just don't have it in me to go and take that punt. De Bruyne to Havertz. De Bruyne in for Havertz, I imagine you're saying. Yeah, I would do that. I wouldn't be selling De Bruyne to Kai Havertz. Matip or Laporte would be for a hit. Then probably Matip. I do like Matip as an option. I think people have got him in already, have done very well from him. Am I keeping my forwards for 36? Yes, if I look at my team for 36, they've all got a double. I'm not a massive fan of João Pedro, right? But he's probably my third sub on my bench boost, right? If he can score 3 points, I need one return from those 4 on my bench. And I think, I'm okay with who I've got. I'm very happy with having those guys. So still nothing. To be honest, the fact that we've actually got well, there's no even fake team news for Liverpool yet, which is interesting. But there's nothing come out yet. Captain Salah or Son? I personally, I'm on. So again, anyone new joining, please like the stream. We are one like from 250. One. Come on. Subscribe to the channel. And this is how I'm lining up for this week. Again, I'm making no transfers. I'm kind of taking it on the chin as it is what it is, and we'll see where we get to. But this is where I'm at for this week. So so to keep asking, but you have a bench boost wildcard and free hit. Sorry, Bob, I know you've asked this a few times. Let me answer it now for you. You have a bench boost wildcard and free hit left to use. I'd use a wildcard this week. I don't know, like, use your wildcard this week to set up your team for bench boost next week. Then free hit in game week 30, bench boost 36, free hit 37, but you don't have long to play your wildcard. But if you haven't played your wildcard, this is the best week left to play it. If your team is really, really, really strong still for this week, then wildcard 37, wildcard 37, free hit 38, but I would probably play your wildcard this week. Set up for bench boost next week, free hit 37, and then play 38. Bench White, Odegaard, or Ramsey. I'd bench White for sure. Eritrea man, how are we doing? What was your question? Can answer you, please. I've got to scroll up to find your question. I didn't see a question, so feel free to type it in again. Mateta and Coutinho from Madison and Huang. Yeah, I'm not a massive Mateta fan. I've spoken a little bit about him already on the stream. Not a massive Mateta fan, but I don't think he's a bad, cheap forward option. If you're needing a bench boost, then it's okay. But I'm not a massive fan of him. He does double in 37. I'm not sure he'll start both, if I'm honest. So I don't have a wildcard team that you can use, but it would look very similar to what my team looks like. But I would sell James and Havertz for Laporte and Foden probably. And I may go Nketiah over João Pedro. And then it would look pretty much as it is. If you don't have the money, I'd probably downgrade Trent or Robbo to Matip if you don't have the money for it. That's how I would line up. You could even go De Bruyne if you wanted to over Son. If you wanted to. And not go Laporte. And go Emerson Royale, for example. Cash for James or Rudiger. Rudiger playing 5 games or James playing 3. Which would you prefer? Depends what type of manager you are. I'd probably sell Rudiger. If you are looking for a very cheap defender, some of you in the live chat are asking, Mason Holgate. If you don't have the 4.5 to spend on Emerson Royale, then Mason Holgate of Everton, but it's not fantastic. What do I think about hedging with Schmeichel in goal in case Son blanks? I just can't see Spurs. Not scoring, so I am just going with Foster this week. I know Spurs are tomorrow, but I'm going with Foster this week. Would I sell Barnes to Foden? 100%. I would do that sideways move, Barnes to Foden. Yeah. I'm not sure Barnes will start this week, and then he's a constant rotation headache between now and the end of the season. Play Sarr or Foster? I play Sarr. Who to triple captain game week 36, 37? It's just Liverpool guys I quite like. Sorry, if you've got Salah, Salah. If not, Man City, the likes of Cancelo or De Bruyne would be my 37 captain. Who to start out of Dennis, Pukki, Mateta? Keep changing. Dennis, Pukki or Mateta? I'd probably go Dennis. He's the one starting in my team. So I don't have Mateta, but I've not been a big advocate of Mateta over the past half an hour. So I probably would go Dennis. But if Watford have any chance of staying up, like any small hope at all, they have to win this game. If they lose this game, like it's done. If they want to stay up, they have to win their next 3 games, which is Burnley, Crystal Palace, Everton. Like they have to win all 3 of those if they want to have a chance of staying up. So I'm going with the Burnley guy just because I know that motivation is there. I know how much they've got on the line. So, do I think Foden will start? Yes, I do. You have 9.7 to spend on 2 defenders. 9.7. So that's a 4.5 and a 5. Davies and Cash is 9.8. How much is Davies? Position. Or can't you do? Oh, you can't. Davies is 4.5. Same as Emerson Royale. The 4.4s are also not good though. The 4.4s are really, really not good. You could take a punt on Mason Holgate if you want cash. Would probably be the way that I would look. So, am I going to captain Son? At the moment I am, and I don't think it's going to change unless we get confirmed news that Salah is going to start. If not, I'm going to be hiding behind the sofa watching that Liverpool game at lunchtime. But yeah, I'm not going to, unless I get like confirmed news from someone I trust on Twitter that Salah is starting, my captaincy is going to be on Son for this week. Or drop cash to Mings or Young. The only thing with Young is apparently Dean is not out for the season, so he could be back. So I'd go Mings before I went Young, but I probably want... The Spurs defender is less essential. I'd probably go Holgate. Just try and target the doubles a little bit more with him. Would I start Nketiah or Pukki? Nketiah or Pukki, again, very close. I'd maybe just about favour Pukki there. There's enough doubt in my mind about the minutes that we're going to get out of Nketiah. I've not seen it consistently enough, but... So, who to replace Rafinha for 6.4 with? It's not that much in that cheap mid bracket anymore. I'd probably go down to Gordon and just be done with it, to be honest. Sar's not a bad punt. Burnley and then a good double. You could punt on Sar. I don't love that. Is Holgate nailed? Maybe not. Started against Liverpool though, but Godfrey did pick up an injury. This is the thing. Like, you do run the risk with him a little bit, but cash is by far the best option that you can get. Sar, if not Gordon, probably. You've not got a lot to choose from. Not a lot to choose from down there. Kulu to Coutinho or Shah to Cash? Kulu to Coutinho or Shah to Cash? Shah to Cash is a bigger upgrade between now and the end of the season. Kulu still doubles, although I don't love him. Shah to Cash is a bigger upgrade for me. Cash versus Coutinho is also very close. So Kulu versus Shah is head and shoulders Kulu. So yeah, I would favour the defensive transfer. A lot of defensive points being scored at the moment. So I'm very happy with sort of people adding defenders to their team. Can I show Dennis, please. If I go forwards... Sorry, that midfield was just this week, actually, between now and the end of the season. He drops a little bit, but he's still up there. It's because they played Chelsea on the last day of the season. It's down. If I go forwards for you at that sort of range, Dennis is the second highest. He's actually predicted to score more points than Pookie between now and the end of the season because of his fixture this week. Dennis is predicted to score more points than Pookie this week. Let's see if João Pedro starts. It could very much do with him starting one of the two in the double. It's a real nightmare for me if he doesn't. So. Cool. Thoughts on Coutinho for captain? Again, I don't like it more than... Sorry, I'm just trying to check if there's any team news or anything we can get. I don't like it more than I like a Spurs option, for example. I don't like it more than that. So I don't like, so I'd go Spurs or Salah over Coutinho. The returns have not been there for Coutinho confidence. If we look at the predicted points this week across all positions, De Bruyne, Son, Watkins, Kane, Salah, Ronaldo, like Coutinho is down at 5.4. He's outranked by all of the top, more highly owned captains this week. So I wouldn't be on a Coutinho captain. You like your stream, you like the calmness, not panicking. It's because I've made my decisions. You should see me when I have, I've got decisions still to be made. Then it's less calm as it was this time last week. But it's cool. Rudiger or Ramsey? I'd go Ramsey. I think there's a chance Everton score. So Ramsey in that fixture. Need help play De Gea or Ramsdale. I'd play De Gea for the fixture, but again, we know what our Man U have been like defensively recently. So I'd play De Gea, but Brentford at home is better than West Ham away. Mount to Coutinho to free up bench boost. Worried about Mount's mins for the double. I agree. I don't think Mount will start both in the double. I think I'm only going to have one Chelsea going into the double, which I'm quite happy about, and I think it'll be Alonso. You're going Mings. Going Mings unlocks Davies, White, Emerson, and Cash would mean Holgate, who isn't nailed. Fine. Then go Emerson, Royale, and Mings. Kevin De Bruyne, captain. Yeah, he's top of predicted point scorer, so if you've got him, then I think he's absolutely fine to go with. There is a slight rotation risk with him there, but I think you've just got to ride your wave with De Bruyne. I think he'll start probably. Hi Eritrea, how are we doing? What do I think of bringing in De Bruyne for third Man City player and Mo Salah out due to recent matches without scoring and Coutinho instead of Foden for Havertz? I wouldn't go selling Salah. If you're trying to make up a lot of ground, it's a very bold move to do between now and the end of the season. I can't do it myself, and I can't advise you to either. I think Salah's still a good option. He'll be the most captain player next week. It is a massive, massive risk to sell Salah, and I don't think I would want to be doing it, whatever position I was in. Thoughts on Havertz to Foden? For free, it's okay. I think Havertz might start just because he's played like 70 minutes in the past two. So I think he'll start, but for next week, it's a good move, right? Coutinho or Ramsey this game week? Coutinho's a better option than Ramsey, right? But Ramsey is, 3 mil cheaper than Coutinho. So there's a big difference of what you can do with your team elsewhere if you go with Ramsey over Coutinho. On any given week, Coutinho is a better option than Ramsey, but it's just the money difference that you save going with one over the other. Foden, Kulu, Coutinho versus De Bruyne, Gordon, Ramsey. Foden, Kulu, Coutinho versus De Bruyne, Gordon, Ramsey. That's quite tough because Kulu versus Gordon, I don't think there's that much in. Ramsey, Coutinho, Coutinho's better. De Bruyne, Foden, De Bruyne's better. Plus you get the extra double with Gordon. If you don't have a free hit, but Coutinho for the second double is really nice. I'd probably just about go the Foden, Kulu, Coutinho route, but there's not very much in it. There's very little in it. Maddison or Mount or Kai. I'd probably start Kai this week because I think he's got the highest chance of starting, but I also... Mount will probably play most minutes between now and the end of the season. So if you're selling one, Maddison's the worst of the lot. Big man. Mount is the worst of the lot. So please let's not just copy and paste in the chat. You have Werner. Shall I transfer him out? Yeah, again, I can't see him starting this week either. Can't see him starting this week as well. Get Coutinho or Watkins. Coutinho or Watkins. Probably Coutinho. I rank him as a higher, more important asset. Start Martinelli or Dyer. That's really, really tough. I don't love either of them. I'm not sure Martinelli's going to start. Let's have a look what predicted points says this week. Martinelli, 3.7. Dyer, 3.5. Again, it's as close on here as I thought it would be. It is saying Martinelli out of the two. Is Salah not likely to start? I think there's a chance, given he played 90 in the Champions League and has got Champions League midweek next week as well. I think he may end up starting, but I don't know the answer. I'm waiting to see if there's any news that we get, but I'm not seeing anything flying around. I'm not seeing any news flying around, which is a real surprise. 15 minutes before the deadline. Normally there's something going on, but... Son versus Salah captaincy. So I'm on Son. Saka news. Saka should be fine. He's been pictured in training. And Arteta said he should be fine. So who should you replace Werner with? You have 8.6 mil. It would be Watkins probably. Watkins or Richarlison. If you've got 8 point... Yeah, Watkins or Richarlison. I wouldn't go Calvert-Lewin because he's injury prone, even though he's back in training now. I'd go Watkins or Richarlison. Go differential captain on Cancelo instead of Kane. Your current rank is 50k. I wouldn't. I'd go Kane. I think Kane will still be 100% EO. I don't think it'll be higher than that. I think you'll still make good ground if Kane does well. So I would still go with Kane over Cancelo. Leeds have said they want to come out and attack that game as well. So yeah, for me, it's still Kane captaincy. Is Gabriel Jesus a trap or worth buying? He is a trap for me. He's a trap. Interesting people entering the chat today. Start Nketiah or Dennis. Sorry, I was just removing them. Nketiah or Dennis. I'd probably go Dennis, but I just think Watford have got to win this game. If they're gonna have any chance of staying up, they've got to win this game. So for me, it's Dennis. Son or Kai? Son definitely. Son definitely. Literally no anything on Liverpool is so strange. If there's anyone in here who hasn't subscribed already, please make sure you do. We are closing in on our target for the end of the season. Havertz or Saka, Cap, Salah or Coutinho. I'd probably go Salah. I'm getting a bit nervous on not captaining Salah, if I'm honest, but I don't think I'm going to change it. I've been on Son since I think Wednesday. Once I saw Salah's minutes, I just think we're going to leave it here. The Leicester team is going to be rotated heavily. I've got double Liverpool defence, although they could be rotated as well, but are they really going to rest like Salah and Robbo? Maybe they rest one on each side. It would not be good for my game week if they did that. But start Watkins, Nketiah or Pukki. If you've got Villa assets, they've got to be the ones you're starting. Got to start them at home to Norwich. I wouldn't go captaining defenders this week. The reason for it is they're all away. The Chelsea, Liverpool and City games are all away from home, which is not ideal. It's not great. So I would probably still be focusing in on the attackers. The home fixture for Spurs or Liverpool with Salah, I still think are the best captaincy options. Nketiah playing versus West Ham with them being in Europe is leaning you towards him. But I think I can understand why you'd want Nketiah. He looked good in the recent lineup as well, but I'm on Dennis. He's looked good recently. Nketiah's also looked good. Maybe it depends on if you've got Saka. If you don't have Saka, maybe you go Nketiah to cover a little bit of that Arsenal. If you do have Saka, maybe you go Dennis. Captain Matty Cash, that is a bold prediction. I'm not sure I have it in me to do that. I think he's a nice pick, but I don't think he's captain material. Is Saka fit? Yeah, he's been back in training and Arteta said he should be fine to play. So he said he should be fine for Sunday. So we'll see. But yeah, I think it's fine. You don't have Kane or Son. What about Kulu captain? I wouldn't be captaining Kulu because I worry he's going to be playing at wing back, which is exactly not what you want to be happening. You don't want to be having him at wing back as your captain, and I don't think he's good enough when he does start on the wing. So yeah, he wouldn't be my captain this week. Captain Salah or Foden? I'd go Salah. Maybe I should have put a captaincy ranking up on the key questions section today. Bit late now, but let's put one in. Kane, Son, Salah. Oh, actually. Kane, Son, Salah, Saka. I mean, I wouldn't be going outside of these guys, to be honest. I'd be keeping it with them. Cool, there we go. James or Alonso? Again, Alonso's a better keep for me. More nailed than James is, and when James does play, sometimes plays at centre-back. Play one, Pukki versus Villa or Bednarak versus Palace. I play Pukki, favour the attacker almost all the time in those sort of debates. Jota, Foden, Havertz, Mount, Coutinho, Cash. I have to bench one. That's impossible. You've got to guess which one of the Chelsea guys doesn't play, Andy, is basically what you've got to do there. Bench Havertz or Mount. The others I'd want to start all of. So maybe bench Havertz, but if he starts, it's going to be really, really bad. That's so impossible. But you've got to find the one that you don't think is going to start. Am I confident about João Pedro for 36? So really what I need from João Pedro is to start one of the two. Because if I look at my team for that week, he's the worst player in my 15-man squad. Him and Foster together. I just need him to start one of the two. Is really it. If he starts that, then I think he'll get sort of 3 points. There's a chance he gets, let's say he got an attacking return. It'd be crazy. It'd be very good. But if he starts and gets 3 points, then one of Dennis or Gordon. Like in those 4 games, an attacking return from one of those 2 is really all that I need to sort of get me past that 16, 20 point bench boost threshold that a lot of people look at. And there's a chance that they do more and they do better. But if that's not the case, I do have like Watford Everton is the final game where all of my bench boost players are playing in, which I've only just realised. When is that game? But no news flying around anywhere. Literally nothing. I'm so surprised by this. Do I start Walker Peters, Broja, or Mateta? Walker Peters, Broja. Come on, fixtures for next week. Walker Peters, Broja, or Mateta. I'd probably go Walker Peters. He's looked really good actually this season. I've been very impressed by him. I think someone might come in and try and pinch him, although Southampton's not a bad club. But I think I'd go Walker Peters. I've liked him as an asset. He's done pretty well for a lot of people this season who have owned him. He's good for bonus as well. Start Dennis or Tony. Dennis. Again, I'm backing Dennis this week. I'm backing Dennis big time this week. Play Maddison or Ben White. That is a tough one. I don't back either of them. I'd probably be on Maddison out of the 2, but don't love either. Nketiah or Kulu. Probably Nketiah. Rudiger or Davies. Probably Rudiger. Should I sell João Pedro to Nketiah or roll? I'd roll. I think João Pedro might come back into the team. I don't think King did enough against Man City to keep it, but maybe that's the new decision that's been made. The issue that I could have is if they sack their manager midweek, that I could end up with none of them starting in the double, which would be an absolute nightmare. But do I reckon Pukki or Nketiah? Again, for me, that just comes down to if you own Saka. If you have Saka, I would start Pukki. If you don't have Saka, I'd want a bit of Arsenal cover, so I'd go Nketiah. I'm not 100% locked in unless we get early City team news. Sorry, Liverpool news. But we don't seem to be getting any. There doesn't seem to be any. So, if there's none, then I'm locked in. If there's none, then I'm locked in. So, Broja or Pukki to play. Play Pukki out of the 2 of those. Just trying to see. Eriksen and Jesus or Bernardo and Ivan Toney. I don't love either. I'd probably go Bernardo and Ivan Toney because Jesus is just not nailed. We are 16 likes away from 300. I know it's getting to the end of the stream, but if you could, that would be amazing. Dennis with a brace incoming. Let's hope. Could you imagine? Could you imagine? Double Watford. What is going on? Last ditch. I could do Cash and Hanley. Hanley will be benched, but will be useful for your bench boost. I mean, he's not going to score more than like 3 points max or 2 points in the double is the only thing with 2 away games. I'd probably go the Emerson Royale Mings route, to be honest. If it was me. You could do Cash. Yeah, I would do that. De Bruyne or Son. Son. I'm rolling the transfer, Jaden. Yeah, gonna just see what we get. What we get from the rotation this week. I think it might bite me quite hard, but Salah or De Bruyne? Salah or De Bruyne for what? To bring in or captain? Captaincy, I'd probably put on De Bruyne because I'm a bit worried by Salah's minutes. I don't know what to think at all. Basically, no news coming in whatsoever from anywhere on it. I'm trying to check Twitter in the background, but what's happening? I haven't done anything. It's literally stayed the same. Bernardo or Foden? Foden definitely for me. Foden definitely for me. Basically, no news anywhere. Literally nothing. Dennis or Mateta? What time is it? 4 minutes. Dennis or I'd start Dennis. Son or Salah captain? I'm on Son. If I had more cash in the bank, would I still bring in Foden next week? If you have more cash in bank, yeah, I would. Unless I had money to go up to De Bruyne. If I had like De Bruyne type money in the bank, then I'd go De Bruyne. But I don't have anywhere near it. So, but yeah, like there's no one between sort of Foden's price and De Bruyne that I'd really want. Should I start Pookie or do Broja to Nketiah and start him? Which one? Sorry. Should I do Pookie or Broja and Nketiah, start him? I just start Pookie. I'd start Pookie. What is bank holiday? Basically, it's just like a day off in the UK. I don't know quite where the term originates, but I don't quite know where it comes from. Have I made any changes? No, still as is. Hasn't changed since the start of the stream. There's literally nothing on Salah. But there's nothing we can do now. Like, it's not going to come in time, is it? So make sure your final teams are locked in, everyone. We've got 2 minutes deadline. I am going to wrap up the stream now. Do I think KDB starts? I think so, yeah. Mount or Dennis? I'd start Dennis. Late changes, none. It is like this. I don't see bank holiday on your American calendar. It's just a UK thing. Yeah. Just a UK thing. 4 likes for 300 before we wrap it up. Thank you guys all for watching and subscribing. I know there's always a lot of streamers live at this time. So if you're all to be here and almost hit 300 likes. Salah predicted points. Again, you've got to put your own... let me up the price. There we go, 300. 6.4. 6.4. Cool. I am going to wrap up the stream here. Thank you all very much for watching. We'll be back with videos on Sunday and through next week as well. We have hit our subscriber goal. If there's anyone watching who is not subscribed already, then please do hit that subscribe button. And yeah, good luck this week. Let's hope for Dennis return. You may not take the -4 for Emerson as I won't start him this week. Fine, fair enough. Thank you guys. Good luck this week. Deadline here, and I will be back again very soon. Thanks all.